What's up, man? Welcome to the end of the day. What's the day today? The 5th. This month is moving pretty quick. So yeah, let's not waste any time and get right into it. Right. The Euro JPY bullish on the M15, bearish on the 4-hour, right? Bearish on the 4-hour. We had a pullback up, come down, reaction, right? Failed to break the low and then moves back up. Now the question is, did it move back up to mitigate whatever is in here? Or is this now a strong low because it held while this failed to break down more, right? Because end of the day, this supply over here did not do anything, right? Didn't create a new low, so technically it is weak compared to this one that did get like this reaction up, even though it also didn't create a new high, so kind of wedged between supply and demand. Fuck. Okay, anyway, had a little technical difficulty. Moving on to the M15. So coming into today, right, we are at the low, right? The 15-minute is bullish, right? But it could have been bullish to facilitate the 4-hour pullback, right, before switching back bearish. Now coming into the low, okay, I see that, okay, we failed to break the low, right? We've swept this Asian low, and we went up, right, and swept this high over here, right? We've swept this high. Now as this is happening, right, I'm here watching the charts. We had this reaction, right? Let me just throw it out so it just looks a little better, a little wider. We had this reaction, right, with the market going up and then going down, right? Going down and then it went up again, right, with this. But I didn't like the fact that it was just a sweep of this high and not actually a break of the high, right? I was initially looking to follow this up, right, but I was not happy with this because, you know, I don't like the iffy breaks. Like, they work, sometimes they don't, so I just try and avoid them if possible, right? And then it happens again here where it sweeps that, there's a little bit to follow in there, right? It's basically doing the same thing except it's like iffy until it moves up right here, right? And you actually see actual volume come in, actual momentum, and it pushes up, right? So at this point now I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is a good area to participate. We don't have any chalk, right, coming down, so we can go in on the risk trade. So initially we were looking for the risk trade. Unfortunately, as you can see, it came close, but I our order did not get triggered right, and then it started pushing up. At this point I switched to the M5 and see what can be the difference, right? Because we've already mitigated this. There's no point in not looking for a 5-minute entry because we have already mitigated. It is at this point I realize, okay, we had this low, right? Goes up, sweeps this internal, like it's tiny, but remember this is up, down, right? Sweeps that, comes back down and sweeps, right? And then starts pushing up. Now, here's the issue. Can you see how big this candle actually is? Which then makes your stop loss 21 pips, right? 21 pips is huge for day traders, I'd say. Now, case in point, I enter on this M5 candle, right? I'm holding through, then we move up. Now, here is my sort of a dilemma, right? Dilemma, I'll also say maybe a learning curve, even though not really, but at this point in time, right, you're coming into this 4-hour zone that we spoke about, right, where the market could just be coming back into here to reverse back down, or this could actually be weak and switch up. If you look at the bigger picture within this picture, you can see clearly that the market was moving on down here like this, moving down, moving up, moving down, right over here, and then moving up. So it really a stretch to say it could continue moving down like that, right? So I'm kind of wedged between this strong low slash, but on the 4-hour it's kind of weak because it didn't create a high, but this 4-hour zone here as well didn't actually create a low, so it's weak. So I kind of am just smushed between those two. Now my dilemma is I have the trade running, right? It's currently in profit, as you can see in here. But what do I do now? Looking at the pros and cons, do you not close the order? I think I should have actually. I think I should have. I think I should have taken a 1:2. I think could have been 2:2.2 like that. Because first of all, you are using like a big stop loss, right, which then pretty much eats into your target, right? Because had you entered down here, 3.3 would have already been triggered and taken out for profit. But now I think my experience is telling me that this is most likely going to reverse, right? Might not reverse and break this, but we could find ourselves wedged between these two, just doing that, right? It happens, and I don't think this stop will survive. Now I think I'd be pretty pissed if I did end up taking a loss on this, because it would be unnecessary. I think even in the past I did say that I don't like targeting past highs like this, where the market needs to break out for you to profit, right? You don't want to force it to do that for you to profit. You want to be out before any like this is a zone gets into play, right? So I think honestly, looking back at it now, maybe I should have been out for 1:2. But now what do I do? Do I adjust the order, right? Because I do like to use a fixed 3R target, but I've been keeping my eye on like targeting 2R, not being afraid to target for like 1:2, more especially if it's a decent idea that you're trying to play, decent idea, but you do have like something stopping you, like this zone like coming right in front of you. it is in your way basically. So you have something like that stopping you and you can't get your 3R, you just take the 2, right? Because it's still a decent probability chance to profit, right? Okay, I think for peace of mind, I've decided, as I am just reviewing, because I don't think I'd be angry if I took a 2R. If I do end up taking a break even, I won't be too angry as well. It is what it is because I'm only adjusting now. After it's all said and done is when I'm adjusting my stop placement. So I don't think I'd really complain way too much if this ends up being break even. It's not a loss. It will sting because it could have been a winner, but just looking at the where we went wrong initially. I'll just 2.2 here. What do you want? Say 110 maybe. It's 110 decent. What's the price? 178,999. Yeah, something like this. Okay. So I have moved my stop to break even, so it can't be a loss. And then if it does come back into these areas here, then we'll be up for 2R. I think not bad considering that we are wedged between this 4-hour zone and this strong 15-minute low, but it's a weak 4-hour low, and the 4-hour would take precedence. So yeah, we'll just see how it moseys on when we wake up, but not too bad. Yeah, I think it's a decent idea. It's just the management side also is a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky, right? Because we use discretion. You gotta make a decision in real time. A little bit tricky, but yeah, we'll see what it ends up doing. EURUSD, I was interested in this 15 minutes strong low, right? We had a break of structure. Price came into here, started bobbing and weaving about. I'd say only at this point around 3 we had like a solid move up with momentum, right? Came back down, but it's not enough for me. I would like to see it break this, right, like it did here, and then like without moving way too far, like within this candle, maybe come back in here and then look to continue the buys, but it just kept moving up. So yeah, not a missed opportunity, I'd say. Same with GU, bobbing, weaving, all this and that, nothing too good in there, sort of rangy. So we'll wait for a little bit more, maybe a break of the swing high, and then just look for continuations and take it from there. Here is where I want to say I missed out on a valid trade, right? Within here, I'd say that, because we have this strong, we have the strong swing high, right? This zone within the strong swing high, and before taking like a trade from here, you would want to see at least a chop, which you do get, right? This is the high, market moves down, comes up, but doesn't break. Very important to realize. Comes up but doesn't break, right? So when it comes back down here, this is not actually a valid chart, right? Because the market didn't actually break up here. The valid chart only happens when it moves up again and then sweeps that high over there. Only here after the sweep do you have a valid change of character down here. Only then is it a valid change of character. So it's pretty much down here. But for the sake of being able to see it, I'll just leave it there. for the sake of being able to see it. And so after you do have a chalk after mitigating the strong high where it's highly likely that it moves down, would then make this zone over here valid. Might make this zone valid, and because you do not have a chalk coming back into the zone, you would be okay to take an M15 risk trade, which would have then been sized up like that, taking the 60, I don't know what's 61%, this is 61 point something, I don't know, whatever the hell it is. You then take that, and then because it is a strong swing high, you can actually aim for the swing low, but for the sake of consistency we always go for 3.3. and if you look at that, you would have had your 3.3 in of those 2 to 4 in like an hour and a half in and out. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. This is actually valid. I'll record this in the section for valid trades that I missed out on, but this was actually like to the book, to the T, what you want to see. Nothing iffy, straight out of the book, man. Yeah, pretty disappointing not to see this. Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but yeah, anyway, peace.